Ah, the dance of the elusive heart, isn't it fascinating? Today, we'll delve into a rather intriguing narrative, one that might make you ponder on the art of pursuit and the paradox of distance. Yes, we're here to untangle the curious case of why ignoring an avoidant works better than chasing. Now, doesn't that sound like an odd little conundrum? Yet, in its oddity lies the secret to navigating the complexities of certain human relationships. Imagine, if you will, a ballroom, not a grand one filled with chandeliers and opulence, but a more subtle space, cozy and intimate. Here the music is a gentle hum, and every glance, every step, every pause has its place. At one end stands the pursuer, a figure of determination, eyes fixed on the prize, heart pounding with the thrill of the chase. At the other end, the avoidant, a creature of mystery, cloaked in an aura of detachment, as if they are a whisper in a room full of shouts. Now, before we waltz too deeply into this metaphor, let us take a step back. You see, the avoidant attachment style is a curious thing. It's like a cat, really. You can call it, you can offer it treats, but it will only come to you when it truly desires. It is independent, self-reliant, often misunderstood by those who seek to understand it through the lens of their own attachment styles. Here lies the heart of the matter. The more you chase, the more it retreats, like a shadow that fades under the scrutiny of a spotlight. But why, you may ask, does ignoring the avoidant work more effectively than chasing? To answer this, let us turn to a tale, a story as old as time itself. Picture a small village nestled in the rolling hills, where the sun kisses the earth and life meanders at a gentle pace. In this village lived a young lad named Thomas, ardent, hopeful, with a heart full of dreams and a head full of schemes. Across the village square was Evangeline, enigmatic, aloof, and ever so captivating. Thomas, with his heart on his sleeve, pursued Evangeline with the fervor of a poet chasing a muse. Every morning he would bring her wildflowers, their petals still glistening with the morning dew. Every evening he would serenade her with songs that echoed his longing. Yet each gesture, each proclamation of affection was met with the same polite smile and a softly closed door. You see, Evangeline was an avoidant. Her heart was a fortress, built with stones of past experiences and guarded by the sentinels of self-preservation. Thomas found himself perplexed, caught in a cycle of pursuit and retreat. The harder he chased, the further she seemed to drift. It was as if he were trying to catch the wind, only to find it slipping through his fingers. But then a wise old man, a shepherd with a heart as vast as the pastures he tended, offered Thomas a piece of advice. "Stop chasing the wind, my boy," he said, "and let it come to you." And so Thomas did just that. He stopped his pursuit, not out of resignation, but out of understanding. He turned his focus inward, nurturing his own dreams, his own joys, and in doing so became a beacon of calm in the storm of his desires. It was then that Evangeline, drawn by the quiet strength of his presence, began to approach. Slowly, cautiously, like a deer emerging from the woods, she stepped into the circle of his world. Herein lies the essence of the tale. By ceasing to chase, Thomas created space for Evangeline to approach. In ignoring, he did not abandon. Instead, he invited her to take the lead, to dance to the rhythm of her own heart. And in that space, the dynamic shifted, not through force or coercion, but through the gentle art of allowing. Now let us pause and consider the wisdom hidden within this narrative. To ignore an avoidant is not to close the door on connection. Rather, it is to open the door within oneself. It is to cultivate a garden of patience, where the seeds of trust may one day bloom. For the avoidant, whose heart is a landscape of caution, the absence of pressure is a balm, a quiet reassurance that they are free to navigate their own path. But beware, dear listener, for this approach demands a delicate balance, a dance of its own. Ignoring is not a game of manipulation, nor is it a tool of apathy. It is an invitation to oneself and to the other to explore the depths of one's own being. It requires the strength to stand in one's own light, to be whole and complete, whether the other chooses to step closer or remain at a distance. And so we return to our ballroom, where the music plays on, a symphony of human connection. The pursuer learns to pause, to listen, to dance with grace and patience. The avoidant finds the courage to step forward, to engage in the dance on their own terms. Together, they create a tapestry of moments woven with threads of understanding and acceptance. In this tale, we find a reflection of our own lives, our own dances with those around us. We learn that sometimes the most profound connections are forged not in the heat of pursuit, but in the gentle space of understanding. We discover that in ignoring, we do not lose, but rather gain the clarity to see what truly matters, the freedom to be ourselves, and the courage to let others do the same. So, as you ponder the complexities of the heart and the nuances of attachment, remember this. To ignore an avoidant is not to turn away, but to turn inward. It is to honor the dance of life with all its steps and pauses, its joys and sorrows. And in doing so, we find that the greatest connections are often the ones that surprise us, that emerge not from the chase, but from the quiet strength of simply being. And there you have it, dear listener, a tale of the heart's dance, a story of why ignoring an avoidant works better than chasing. May it serve as a beacon of wisdom, guiding you through the labyrinth of relationships with grace and understanding. As the curtain falls on our tale, let us remember that in the dance of life, it is not the steps that matter most, but the journey we share with those we hold dear.
If you believe this video might help someone dear to you, share it with them. A small gesture on your part could mean the world to a friend in need.